Hey, Shane.
Yes, Spencer.
Is it your birthday?
No.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good, because have you seen Longlegs?
Yes, I actually have.
You don't want it to be your birthday in Longlegs.
No.
Longlegs,
Longlegs.
the new Oz Perkins movie.
I just wanted just to kick it off. Last week we talked about, or last episode we talked about It Follows, and I was like, this movie didn't really creep me out, and I described it like a movie like freaking me out or like creeping me out. It's like it like lingers. Longlegs lingers, baby. Got the triple L.
From frame one, you're like, I'm uncomfy.
Yeah.
And I want to go home.
Quite literally from frame one.
Yeah.
Like quite literally from
in a
frame
way
one.
that I can't, I don't know how to, I can't figure it out. It's been a couple weeks since I've seen this movie, and I cannot figure out how he did it so instantly. Because it starts with a quote.
Yeah.
And I'm uncomfortable then.
Mm-hmm.
And then the frame one, which is just a shot of a car out of a car driving in like 4:3 or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm already like, I don't feel good.
No, bad vibes. Straight 100% bad vibes.
The reason I'm freaking out about this is because the opening sequence is like masterful. The opening sequence is like really fucking scary.
Yeah.
But really, I can't stress enough that it is first second that I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. But yeah, no, this is a very good movie.
Yeah.
It's one I have thought about pretty much nonstop.
Yeah. Same.
Nicolas Cage is really good in it.
Yeah. This is like the perfect like Venn diagram of like a good weird movie and a good weird performance from Nicolas Cage. Like
they gelled here.
They have those two things have been more circular than like separate as of late. Like I feel like he's been choosing a lot of like good, cool, weird projects
between like this, Pig, Mandy a few years before that.
Yeah. I mean, even you could even point at like Unbearable Weight of Talent. You know what I mean? Or Massive Talent.
That's true. That
like he's been picking good weird projects. You know, that I've been into. I don't know, man. Where do you want to start with this one?
It's I always start with the cinematography.
Yeah,
I think I want to start there. Well, the movie looks great. Like there's not a lot of camera moves.
No, there really isn't.
But it feels really not frenetic. There's not like a freneticism to it, but it feels very energetic.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Even being just fully locked down. Like in a way that when I rewatch it, this would be a great one for a score track, which is you just take everything out but the score.
Yeah.
Which I think one or a few of the Mission Impossible movies have on the Blu-rays, which is super cool.
That's cool.
But this feels like it would be a great one for that, just to like hyper focus in on the visuals.
Yeah.
Because like I can literally think of 2 shots off the top of my head that have any motion other than a pan.
Yeah, other than a pan. We get some pans in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
like there's the one of the barn where we like, which is a shot that I can't like there's nothing there. There's nothing in that shot.
Yeah.
You keep waiting for there to be something, and it's horrifying that there's not, and I can't explain why.
Yeah.
But it's that shot, and then there's the one where she's walking, and we're like following behind her.
Yeah.
But other than that, there's really not many.
No.
And it's so, and the framing is a little weird.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking specifically of when she's like lined up with the evidence board early on in the movie, and it like puts her and the evidence board on this third and just a lot of dead space that's gorgeous.
Yeah.
But like normally you would think they'd put her there and they'd put him in the background in the other third, and they don't. He's in another shot.
Yeah.
Like it's really cool. It's just a very unique, weird looking movie.
Yeah.
In all the best ways. Everyone compares it to Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
But I think visually it's almost more akin to like the Batman.
Oh,
in terms of its like color and its like griminess.
Yes, like Silence of the Lambs has. I mean, it is a very good looking movie, but it's a very '90s movie.
Yes,
like it's shot like pretty high key '90s vibes.
Yeah.
In a way, like, and I would agree with you there. Like, it definitely has a little bit more like Seven in the in the cinematography. I mean, like I do definitely appreciate like how methodical and like how methodical the camera work is, and how slow the pace is, and but you are right in the way that it still feels like it has like a pace.
Yes.
And feels like it has that forward momentum while almost never moving.
It's, we're always feeling like we're learning something or gaining something, and the way it like puts things in the frame too. It's like the whole. We'll talk more about this, but the devil or whatever the entity is that like appears. There are times where it's like really obvious where it is, and then there are times where it takes a second or two to catch it. Where you're 100%. Like, whoa, they hid that really well. Like. In a way that I love. And then there's the shot right before she goes and talks to Nicolas Cage to Longlegs. And it's the video monitor behind. It's like it's so in your face in like such a great, interesting way.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was really like the visuals and the production design are both unbelievable.
Yes.
And they just are. Those two department heads were like the clasping hands meme. Yeah, we got this.
Yeah. The freaking what is
Arnie from Predator.
From Predator. Yeah.
They're just them. They just both went, what do you need? Cool.
It's fascinating to me that I went into this movie having not seen a single trailer. I had hardly seen any like images. Mm-hmm. The only thing I had seen was a TikTok video of Micah Monroe seeing Nick
Cage for the first time.
And you can like hear her heartbeat. Whether or not that's real, who cares? It's still really
It's a great piece of marketing.
Yeah. And like it doesn't, and for that it gives like basically nothing for like what is happening or like I knew basically nothing going into this, and I'm glad I did that. Like, that being said, like I had heard all the comparisons to Silence of the Lambs before. Like you had described a few things about the movie. I didn't even know Nick Cage was in it.
Oh, that's because he's entirely absent from the marketing. Like literally completely absent from the marketing.
And I was completely unmarketed too.
Yeah, like the marketing is so good because it gave all vibes. It was entirely and completely only vibes. There's not
the vibes bad.
And the vibes not good, but you're gonna like it.
Yeah.
No, the marketing for this movie is like a next level genius type of thing. Like you don't have to give everything away in the trailers. You know what I mean?
Oh my God. Yeah. This is a mass that, I mean, look, I have not, like I said, I stayed away from the marketing so I wouldn't be spoiled or anything like that. But like, but I have universally, I feel like this movie has been acclaimed for its weird, cool marketing. It's like
the posters are all really interesting. Yeah. Like it doesn't have just a floating heads poster. That's not no. Like one of the posters is the woman like holding the knife to her stomach. The poster of like the person just leaning against the car, the nun, who you find out in the movie who she is. But it's like all the posters are fucking awesome. They're so good, and then they give nothing away.
Yeah.
Like, if you went into this movie having seen a little bit of the marketing and couldn't quite be like, oh, it's a serial killer thing, I wouldn't really blame you.
Yeah.
Like, it's some kind of investigation, but you don't know what. You don't know if it's like a missing person or something. Like, the marketing, dog, so good. Like, every movie should study this because it built hype.
Yeah.
This movie's done so well at the box office for an R-rated, hyper-adult, slow burn art house horror movie.
Yeah.
Done so well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there's several movies that if they had just taken this approach, they could have done a little better. You know, but I don't know.
It's like I feel like so many, like so much of like cinema scores and like that kind of stuff of like people going and seeing the movie and then like being disappointed by it. So often it's because the marketing was bad and lied
to
you.
The drive effect.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Like if they had just like what the marketing for this did well is like give you the vibe of what the movie is. If you like this vibe, you're going to be into the movie.
Yeah.
But without saying like this coming this September, all of these people are going to do all of these things in this exact order.
Yeah. You're
it's
like, well,
okay, then why do I need to see the movie?
Yeah.
It's like there's so many movies recently where it's like, man, you gave away way too much in the trailer. Yeah. I've been doing my best to just completely stop watching trailers at this point for that purpose.
Yeah. We've had some good I mean, I go to the movies so much. It's like, I've just seen every trailer, like to the point that I get bored of trailers. But like the most recent Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Great trailer because it was all vibes. Avatar, The Way of Water, all vibes. Yeah. There was like literally almost no dialogue in that trailer. It's just imagery. It's like, dude, do more of that shit. Like, that's what you want. You want to bring people in with a vibe and a tone and nothing else.
Especially for a movie like this where the tone and the vibe is so strong, but there is also like important details and things in the movie that you
there's like
don't want to give away.
Twist that the movie hides really well.
Right.
Like I was fully with it. I didn't figure it out before it happened. You know what
there
I
was
mean?
only one thing I figured out, and it was just because I was like, I know movies enough.
Yeah.
And it was the
spoilers.
Yeah. If you haven't gone and see this movie, go see it. Is there anything else we want to cover before spoiler conversation?
Other than just a general, like, the sound is like, the music is good.
Yeah.
I think a big part of what makes it so unsettling for so much of it is the, like, I don't even know if it's score or sound design and where the line for those two things meet exactly, because they're so in tune together that it's like, it's got this like pressure to it that is so good.
The needle drops are really weird.
The needle drops are weird and cool.
Like very strange picks that are like perfect.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of those.
Very good movie. I don't think there's anything non-spoilery to speak on.
Yeah.
Just jump in. What were you gonna say?
The daughter, the family, or the police chief's like family. I was like, saw that one. The minute we met them, I was like, they're not making it out of this movie.
You're like, too nice, too kind.
I just like
know
the
the
minute
tone.
we met the daughter, I was like, well, she's gone.
Well, the funny thing, I was going to say the funny thing is the daughter is the one that makes it.
But you know what I mean? Like oh well, I just knowing that they would come back in a high stakes way
in a negative fashion.
Yeah, I was like, they're not ending this movie happy.
No. Not at all.
They're so happy in that previous scene.
Well, then let's speak real quick on the ending. To jump ahead a little bit. How do you feel about the last shot? Because there's 2 movies 2 years in a row that I thought end one shot sooner, and I think I would have liked this a little bit more.
I'm struggling to remember what was the last.
So the last 2 shots in sequence are her click like right at the camera with the gun. Click, 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 nothing. And then it like she walks away, and I can't remember if we fade or we just cut to Nick Cage looking directly at camera in the holding cell and being like, "Hail Satan!"
Right.
It's like where it's a to me. Now this is partly me also. A Hail Satan, you throw that in anything, I'm gonna laugh. It's just silly to me. Like it's very rarely am I gonna think that's like creepy.
Yeah. But like in a way that almost feels like the point almost because it cuts right into like a poppy rock song. You know what I mean? Like it didn't take me out like legitimately like I forgot that was the last shot. Like if that
it didn't take me out. I just loved the idea of ending the movie with that. Like to me, I was like, that is so cool.
I agree.
The other movie was Past Lives. I wish Past Lives ended with them walking up the stairs and didn't cut to him driving away. I do not think it's bad to cut to him, but I was like seriously sitting there like so invested. I was like and then it had like one more beat, and I was like, I didn't need the other beat.
Right. I agree with that.
But anyway, it's just a thought I had watching. When I walked out, I was like, I kind of wish that had ended just with that really weird like,
because
you can't kill evil. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's I don't know. It's a cool either way, but I for me the uniqueness of that shot before was how I wanted it. But anyway. Pacing of this movie, I have heard a lot of the discourse on it is that the first half is much better than the second half. How do you feel about that?
Insane. That feels insane to me.
Yeah. A lot of people are saying it loses them in the second half, where they're like, I don't know. I wish it all felt like the beginning, and I was like, I don't know what that means. It's like I don't know. I don't even know what that means. And I had read a Letterboxd review saying something along those lines before I saw it, and so I kept waiting for the point where I would agree, where I was like, "Oh, this is where it's going to lose people." But I was like, I was in it. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Quite literally. I mean, like,
I guess if the more supernatural stuff doesn't work for you, because that was also definitely not in the marketing at all.
Yeah,
I didn't know it was a supernatural thing. So I don't know, like. If that doesn't work for you, that doesn't work for you. But that's also what the movie is. I don't know how that.
I mean, is it seeing Nick Cage? You know what I mean? Like, did they want that to be? What did they want Nick Cage to be?
Scarier,
or to be the climactic villain at the very like all the way through? Is that what they wanted? Because that's not what they got. You know what I mean?
And dude, honestly, maybe that's what it is. But like, I don't know. I don't know. I was in on it the whole way through, and it's not like they don't establish that there's some supernatural element in the first 20 minutes. She does the whole psychic test, and he's like, "How'd you do that?"
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Where it's like,
yeah, I don't know.
It brings it up pretty early.
And the first scene of her like on the beat, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it is.
Whereas like
the first scene,
several moments. It's as soon as we meet her, he's like, "Oh, your partners have been assigned," and she looks at the guy.
Yeah.
Knowing that's her partner, and then she knows where the killer is, which, by the way, one of the creepiest things in this movie to me is that the house is just covered in plastic.
Yeah.
Horrifying detail.
Yeah.
Horrifying detail.
What a great
detail. Oh, it's so good, but man, it makes me uncomfortable. Like, that was like my eyes pop open at like 11 o'clock at night where I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, good shit. Yeah.
Yeah. The ADR. Did you notice the amount of ADR that is in this movie?
No.
There are like
again, I was too in it.
There are several moments where I was like, what? Because there's a couple of moments specifically with the police chief. It's like I feel like they're almost always the police chief. There were a couple of times like when he is the very first time where he's like describing Longlegs to her, like she's looking at like the evidence and stuff, and like it cuts to like the evidence and stuff, or it cuts to her reaction to him speaking, and it is just like very clearly ADR'd. And then there's another sequence later. It's right after Longlegs like bashes his head in, and he's in the hallway like barking at her. There's a moment where it's like it's on him barking at her. It cuts away to her reaction or the other woman's reaction in the hallway, and it's just like the audio is ever so slightly different. Like I'm having done quite a bit of ADR work, I'm like attuned to that kind of thing, to like hearing the difference. So there's like several moments in. It's good to know that I didn't catch.
No, it didn't bother me at all. Well, let me. Was it expository stuff?
Yes.
Okay. See, and I bet you they did a test screening of it, and the script was now I got to track down a script in a couple months whenever they kind of come out and just see, because I bet you that's what it was. I bet you they explained a few less things, and test audiences were like, "What the fuck does this mean?" So he was like, "Fine, I'll add a little line from this, great actor."
Yeah, I can't remember. I mean, it's like with in the second half, like when he's like barking at her, he's like talking about like the fact that there may or may not be a second person involved. I can't remember exactly what he's describing in the first half that like needed that extra oomph. Yeah, but it's almost always expository.
I bet you that's what it was. I bet you they had something else, or they were explaining too much, and he was like, "We can trim that." I bet it's something along those lines. It's got to be
right. It's just fascinating. It's good to know that like that other people didn't catch it, because I don't know if I talked about it with Meg, because obviously I went and saw it with Meg.
I went and saw Deadpool and Wolverine, and there's a few times where I was like, that was ADR. That was a last minute change.
Because it's not bad. I just like caught it. Like I could just hear it.
It's got to be pretty notable auditorily for me to like catch it on a first viewing, and then after that I notice it way more. Yeah. But on a first viewing, I very much try to I do my best to like take off my filmmaker kit and throw it in the other room.
Trust me, I'm not looking for it.
No.
It just hit me.
You've done much more like audio editing.
It's like doing that exact.
Now
thing.
I will tell you this though, on my short film, sitting in with like an actual like sound mixer who like has the like 19 tracks, and they're like doing all the shit and mixing it real time, and you're watching it and you're like, holy fuck, what the hell, man? Like, she's like, that's a bunch of bugs. And I was like, okay. She's like, that's a reverse grenade. And I was like, all right, cool. Like,
shit's so hard, dude.
It is so wild what
it's so
what people
hard to
do.
take two audio sources from two different places, two different mics and all those kind of things, and combine them to make them sound the same. Oh, fuck, that's hard.
We'll see. And then in this talking about this movie, it does so well. It's like it layers things in so well that like it just feels like existence. Like if you stop this right now and listen around you, you'll hear 50 different things. You know what I mean? And that's another thing my sound engineer was doing. She was like, oh yeah, I just layer in this track over the whole thing that is this built thing that they have, where it's just like randomly a dog will bark so faintly you can almost not hear it, but it's there. You know what I mean? Like it's shit like that where it's like you just craft this like experience. I don't know. And like I said, I describe it as like pressure. Like it feels like this movie has this pressure to it.
Yes.
Just so good. No, but I didn't notice the ADR. That's interesting. Now I'm going to have to go back and watch it again and check it out. Already has a 4K announced, so I will be buying that and watching it on repeat. I want that to have a director's commentary so bad. I want them to talk about that movie.
Desperately.
Because Because I feel like I understood it. Do you feel like you understood the like underlying messages, at least as your interpretation of them, or did you walk out feeling a little perplexed as to the meaning of the movie?
I like
And again, this is your interpretation. I've heard several people talk about several different things with this one.
I don't know. Like I didn't take some grand moral stance from it or anything like that. Like, what was your interpretation of it?
It's just a movie about apathy.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's like we should have checked that ID, I guess. And then somebody dies and it's just completely this other, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they just completely cut around the fact that her partner in that opening scene dies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. It feels like a movie about apathy and like specifically like apathy for people like this. You know what I mean? Where like they uncover the bodies they discover and he can't handle it and he leaves after they make a big point of being like, is she gonna be okay seeing this?
Right.
I just think it's interesting. It's just an interesting movie about apathy and distance and like the coldness that comes with that life. And again, it's a story about the fact that you can't kill evil. Like evil will infect and grow and continue and it's
almost like No Country for Old Men in that way. You know, it's like that. This same evil has existed this entire time. Like you just kind of you either get used to it or you don't. You know. Yeah, that's definitely an interesting view on it. I need to watch it again.
For sure. Yeah.
To mine for some of those details.
It just feels so cold. You know what I mean? Like in both literally at times and then also just emotionally. Like it feels very intentionally cold. Like not Christopher Nolan cold, where like they're having emotions, but you're not necessarily feeling as much.
Yes. Yeah.
It's I don't know. I was talking to Ethan about it, and he's like, I don't know, I wish I felt more. And I was like, oh, like emotionally connected. He's like, no, it just didn't creep me out that much.
Really?
I was like, you're a stone cold motherfucker then.
I don't know how.
I was uncomfortable from the beginning.
Yeah, dude, the rest of my day was ruined because of that movie.
No joke. It's so good though.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, at least that was my interpretation of it.
I agree wholeheartedly. Honestly, like I said, like I would love to go back and kind of mine for more details. So were there other readings that you agreed with or didn't agree with based off what you were looking at?
There's one that I don't know how much we want to talk about just because it's like childhood essay stuff where it's like which I very much see the through line, and if that's what you watch this movie and see. I completely understand that and do, especially when you read it as like when she's doing the psychic test and his symbol or approximately his symbol pops up and she says father, where it's like almost hinting. Because I remember when this came out, I thought the announcement of it was, oh, Nicolas Cage is in a serial killer movie with It Follows star where she plays an FBI agent hunting him down and he's her father or something. It was like the rough log line of it was something hinting at that. And then when it wasn't in the movie, I was like, interesting, but there is that one tiny thing. And he lives in her basement and he's, which that was a twist that I did not see coming. I was like, wow, shit. How did you feel about the dolls?
In what way?
I heard one person be like, they were a little cheesy.
Oh, they were the creepiest shit of all time.
Yeah, the eyes under the veil.
It was terrifying. I don't know how you could not think that's the creepiest shit ever.
I honestly think the scariest moment in the movie, for me, is when they're in the barn and the arrows are pointing, or the X's, and they walk up and then the crosses, so he pops it open. I don't know what it freaked me out so bad, but when he lifts it without even really thinking about it, I like jumped. Like I was like, oh God, because like I was expecting it to be a bigger scare.
Yeah.
Because it's not like this movie doesn't have jump scares. They're just not
like
really.
two,
yeah, they're just not like it's not a jump scare movie.
Yeah.
So I was expecting that to be one of the few times they did it, and then he just lifts it off, and you're like, well, I hate that. I hate what I'm looking at.
Yeah, no, it's the worst image ever.
And the idea of the brain freaks me out a lot. Yeah. Like a lot. When he like touches it with the ultrasound thing, and she starts like having kind of this like psychic panic attack. Yeah. Fucking hate that shit.
It's when the tech guy was like, yeah, I was weirdly thinking a lot about my ex-wife. Like,
yeah, you're like,
oh.
He's like, can you cut it open? He's like, yeah, but I'm telling you, there's nothing in there. Like,
yeah,
it's so good.
It is incredibly weird.
But yeah, which I like about it. I like that the whole scene, his face reveal, honestly, fascinating decision to me.
Yeah,
where it's like he's just in in a department store
just,
being
weird,
creepy and like pathetic. And
Dad, the creepy dude is back.
yeah, like I loved that. Like I
Yeah.
loved that was the moment they chose to like show his face.
Yeah.
Because you see it before, but it's in a great moment when he drops and then it cuts and you're like, holy fuck, this movie's gonna destroy me, isn't it?
Yeah.
How'd you feel about the aspect ratio changes? Is that a visual motif that you don't normally like?
That is usually something that kind of bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Work like a charm.
It's so stylistic here that it feels like it's less about cool image and more about like what we're doing emotionally.
It's like another movie that does it a lot that doesn't bother me, or I honestly didn't even really super notice it the first time I watched it was the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yeah.
Because it's taking place in different time periods.
Yeah.
And the different time periods are represented through different aspect ratios.
Yeah.
That works much better for me than, ooh, this part is cool, so it's going to be in a different aspect ratio. It's like, shut up. Like, it felt so natural. And especially when we're cutting between, so we have that intro scene and then it cuts to, the title sequence, and then we cut to the regular movie and it's in a different aspect ratio. That works just fine for me.
Yeah.
And then like obviously we like cut to memories and stuff.
Yeah.
And so it feels so much more natural that way, especially since we like set it up early and we don't cut quickly to the other aspect ratio. It's like it feels so much more natural and so much more set up more properly than in other movies that I've seen where it's just like, now it's tall.
You haven't seen Da 5 Bloods, have you?
I have not.
It's got like 1 million aspect ratios. I'd be very curious what you think because they make a point of changing them. You know what I mean? Like they literally like, or whatever. I'd be very curious to know what you think of that because I didn't love it in that movie.
Yeah.
But I also haven't. I've only watched that movie once. I could like it a lot more now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like usually it's like things like that where it's like when the point is to do it is when it bothers me, or like when the point is to draw attention to it is when it bothers me. Where this the point was not to draw attention to it, although it does have that moment where it like expands, right?
Yeah,
which is cool and weird, and like it just works better for me.
I thought a fun short film would be shooting something in like a faux 16 by or faux 3x4 4:3. Fuck, my brain doesn't work today. Like in a faux thing where you start it that way, but it's in black and white, really dull black and white too, where it's almost washed out. And then have part of it be like this like sensory horror thing where as he starts freaking out or whatever, the entity starts infesting him, you open the bars and you really like contrast the image and then you start adding color and the bars get, you know what I mean? Like I was like, be curious about that, but that was just an experiment I was thinking about. It was never anything I was going to like do, but it's stuff like that where it's like, if there's a point to it, I'm into it.
Yeah.
But when you're just like, this is a cool shot. Like, Everything Everywhere All at Once has a couple different ones it uses.
Yeah.
And then, like a movie like that works completely great.
We're like playing with the bounds of reality. It works that works just fine for me in a movie like that.
Versus like Seven, a straightforward serial killer movie that is like plotty and weird, but like there's no supernatural element. There's no like we're taking a Polaroid picture and it cuts it, whatever, shit like that.
It's like I think it's supposed to be like cutting to the IMAX shots, but a movie that always like I think about because it bothered me when I watched it, because I didn't watch it in IMAX. I didn't see it in the theater. I saw it on streaming or something after the fact. Was Kong Skull Island.
Oh yeah.
That I don't know if it's cutting to IMAX or if it's just cutting to different. That it just bothered me in that movie because it just felt super unnatural.
Yeah, I'm sure it was because I know like there's certain like Top Gun Mavericks, the way they handle the IMAX shit is really good, but also a lot of that movie has like sequences filmed in IMAX. Right. It's not just like one random shot or two random shots, and it's like cutting 1 million times because it keeps cutting back to those shots.
Yeah, because it would just be random, like out of nowhere. There'd just be one shot of Kong big, and then it'll cut back to Samuel L. Jackson being small. I'm like, ugh, like
it doesn't work.
It feels like now we got big monkey on screen, so it's gonna be big shot.
Yeah,
and then we got little man, so he's gonna be little.
Yeah,
and it just doesn't bothered me. It just bothered me. But then in a movie like this, I think it works super well.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's great.
This movie fucking shreds.
Yeah.
It freaked the shit out of me, and I hated it, but I also can't stop thinking about it. So I
also like how long it holds out on having like severe violence. Like it's got the shot at the beginning, like the headshot, but it also kind of just cuts to blood. Like it's not that graphic.
Yeah.
It's bloody. It's just not graphic. And then as the movie gets into its third act, that's when it goes kind of crazy with it. But like for so long, it really isn't that violent. Like you're not scared because of gore by you're scared because of imagery and mood.
Yeah.
And then it starts taking you into that really violent shit.
Yeah.
In a way that I'm super into. Some of the, like, I don't know if you call them flashbacks, but some of the visions of the other families getting killed, like the axe one, the blood effects on that are so weird. But I like them. Like, they're so clearly intentionally like that. And I don't know what the decision making there is, but I thought it was cool, I guess. I don't know. Freakiest moment for you? If you can think of just like one distinctive thing that just kind of made you shudder.
I mean, seeing that doll in that box.
Yeah. Not great.
The doll in the box, I think. And then like right at the very end of the movie when like we have the veil on the doll.
Yeah,
and
the
you can
eyes.
See.
Yeah, that image has been torturing me.
Yeah. Yeah. I think those two probably kind of might do it for me. What about you?
It's the whole cracking open the thing and lifting it and the doll bait. All of that just fucked me up in a way that I don't know why. Like, that was my lean in moment. As soon as it started zooming past them out the barn door, I was like,
yes,
I'm in, you know, in the way that I am known to do.
Yeah.
When I lock in on a movie.
Dude locks in. When he locks in hard.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's probably that for me. Like, that moment just fucked me up.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about the mom?
Creepy as shit.
Because I was so confused by that whole relationship until you get the rest of the information.
Yeah.
Where it's like when they're on the phone, I was like, is it a strained relationship? But Micah Monroe's being weird about this also.
Yeah.
Like, I want to go back and watch it again for that. And I want to read the script for that more than anything. And just see how much on the page it feels that way. Because it's the dialogue too. Like, the dialogue between them is weird and stilted.
Yeah.
In all the wrong ways. I don't know.
It didn't feel it didn't feel unnatural in a way that like took me out.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you know this, but moms and daughters are weird, man.
Yeah.
Moms and daughters always have weird relationships. So shout out to all the moms and daughters out there. I hope you guys are doing okay. You're probably not.
No. I have this whole thing about naming characters. I I get so in my head about it.
Yeah.
Where I just like sit there and stare at it and I'm like, I don't know what to call you. I've gone on entire walks figuring it out before. It drives me crazy. Because it's one of those things you don't know a character until you know their name, whatever.
Yeah.
Lee Harker, that's a fucking good one.
It's a good one.
That's a good fucking name.
It's a good name. It's a name-ass name.
It's a name-ass name.
Yeah.
Which so is whatever his Longlegs name. I can't remember. It's something crazy.
Osgood Perkins.
Osgood Perkins.
That's a name-ass name.
Also, isn't it hilarious that he's in Nope? Do you know who he is in Nope?
No.
He's the director of the commercial they're working on. And when she
he really?
She makes the joke, he's the guy that goes, huh, and like looks around like nobody else laughed. That's Osgood Perkins.
Oh my God.
That's why Jordan Peele has a credit in it, because they know each other and he probably gave notes on the script.
Amazing. I love that so
good.
Much.
And dog, Osgood Perkins already has another movie made coming out and another one filming, I think. I seriously think he'll have made like 3 movies for Neon in the last like year and a half, 2 years.
Hey man, get you that work.
The next one is called The Monkey. It is a Stephen King adaptation.
Ooh.
And I'm super excited. It sounds awesome.
I wonder if this will be one of the very few good ones.
Hey man, there's more than a few.
Name 4.
Gerald's Game. The Shining. Does The Shining count?
Kind of, no.
Kind of.
Like,
okay, well, fine.
We'll give that a half.
You want me to name for it? Gerald's Game, which I know you haven't seen, but it is a really cool movie. Stand By Me, The Shawshank Redemption.
Oh damn.
Misery.
Okay.
It.
All right.
The It Chapter 1.
Yeah.
There's a lot. There's more than you'd think.
There's just so many bad ones.
No, you are right about that.
Far outweighed by the bad ones.
That is correct.
Like I feel like of the horror movie adaptations, the number plummets.
I do think that's true. I also think there's a lot more of those getting adapted.
Exactly. But then like I feel like the track record of good like drama ones are much. I mean, Stand By Me and Shawshank, and like I'm sure there's other ones that I'm not.
The Outsiders, that miniseries, was an adaptation, which is like a horror thriller, but more of a thriller, I think.
Interesting.
That is apparently very good.
I mean, yeah, I could name so many bad ones.
And you are correct about that.
Hopefully this will be a good one.
Depending on where you land on Dr. Sleep, which is like
that
everyone has their own opinion on that. I enjoy that movie, but I don't also like super defend it all that much. Like
that one's not in the
bad.
That's not in the bad category. That's just like that is very subjective as to whether or not you like it.
Well, see, that's a very funny metric because Mike Flanagan's next movie is The Life of Chuck, which is a adaptation, but it's an adaptation of one of his novellas, one of the short stories in there. Not a horror movie in any way.
Of
Stephen King's. Oh, yeah, it's not a horror movie at all. It's like very life affirming drama.
Love it.
Anyway, anything else on Longlegs?
His legs weren't that long.
No, but when he's
short.
like, I wore my long legs today, I was like, I fucking hate you.
Yeah, that was the worst.
Oh, that is another one of the scariest moments in the movie. Right off the bat, when she turns and looks at the house, and you just for less than a second see him go around the corner.
There's
and I'm
a couple of those.
I was like, I hate this so much.
Yeah.
I hate this so much, dude.
Yeah,
such good shit.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So if you want to ruin your day, go watch that movie.
Yeah, it is definitely in the new category of like feel bad movies.
Yeah.
Because you aren't feeling good after this. There's a couple of funny moments here and there of just like awkwardly uncomfortable funny, but like is not a movie that's gonna make you happy.
You're not gonna laugh.
No.
Like, there was not an audible laugh in that theater.
No. Good movie though.
Good movie.
Like one of my favorites of the year so far.
Yeah. I've had a very bad lack of like a bad movie going experience dry spell. For 60 different reasons, I haven't been able to get out to the theaters in the past few months. This is the first one I've had in a while. So
I think I'm good for a while. This kind of ruined it.
No, fuck that. I'm going to Twisters.
Yes, go see Twisters.
I want to go see Twisters so fucking bad. And I also want to go see Deadpool Wolverine.
Yeah. Come on.
I'm just a nerd, guys.
It's fun. It's fun. It's fun.
Any lessons? I feel like I want to watch it again before I want to try to give any lessons on it.
I just want to talk about I don't know exactly how to make this like a lesson, but something I've thought a lot about is how much I want to study it to like really get lessons. Because man, a couple times a year, movies will come out and it'd be like, I'll like lean back and be like, fuck, if I could make anything, it would be this.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It happens every once in a while, like the Batman.
Yeah.
The Batman, he was like, if I could make fucking anything, it would be a movie that feels like this. Yes. You know, I feel that way about this.
Yeah,
like
100%.
Like,
I completely agree.
Like it's one of those things where it's like whenever you find those like latch on to them, like the Batman I've seen so many times, I've listened to every interview, I've watched all the behind the scenes stuff. Like I've just tried to memorize that movie and why I love it.
Yeah.
This is one of those that I will do that with. I will just crack it apart and
have fun.
Oh, I'm not gonna be fun to be around for a while.
Yeah.
But it's one that I want to study and really learn from. But it's like it really is one of those I leaned back and I was like, fuck, if I could make anything right now, it would be something like this.
Yeah.
Because it's so fucking cool, you know what I mean? But it's also dark and moody, and it doesn't have a happy ending, which feels rare. But yeah, that's kind of my thought. It's just like when you find the movie, don't be like embarrassed by it. Watch it 10 times and try to learn how it works and track down the script and read it and all that shit. Because that's where you're really gonna get your lessons from, is like discussion and repeat viewings and things like that. Like,
I completely agree.
Like Moneyball. It took me 4 times watching Moneyball to finally be like, fuck, am I Billy Bean? Oh, shit.
I learned something new about baseball every time I watch that movie. Which is often.
Dude,
I don't know if that's still my number one movie watched on Letterboxd.
It's gotta be.
It's either that or it's either that, Ocean's 11 or Logan Lucky. Yeah. It's one of those 3.
Oh, Logan Lucky. What a film.
That's another one that just
that's
the best, like, I don't feel good. I'm turning on a movie where I watch dudes be good at their job.
Yeah. That's great. God, I want to watch Moneyball. I've had a hankering for it recently. I think I watched Air and it got me in the mood for the like dad cinema.
I watched Moneyball and I made Megan watch Air. I was like, you're gonna watch this because I want you to watch it, and it's very fucking good.
Well, that's lessons.
And then now this is the game. We've done this game before. I am going to give you a tagline for a movie. Okay. And you're going to have to try to guess what the movie is. Now, all of these are, let's say, like kind of art house horror movies.
Okay.
Produced by or distributed by either Neon or A24.
Sick. Okay.
All within the past few years. I think maybe the oldest one is from like 2016 or something.
Word.
So like past 8 years, A24 Neon art house horror
fucking
movies.
killing it. Just not even just in the horror game, but just in the movie distribution game.
Yes.
Oh, which speaking of, sorry, before we do the game, random thing. Neon bought Chris Stuckman's movie. And they're distributing it. So that's so fucking. It hadn't even premiered at a festival when the purchase was made. So like
this is mine. Yoink.
Super fucking cool. Anyway.
You'll love to hear it.
Love Neon.
Neon's got some cool shit. Did you know that Neon is not as old as I thought it was?
No.
I thought it was older. I thought it was more.
No, Neon's. They're not
like just as young as A24 is. Like,
and arguably as good, if not better. Like
they've got a great track record.
Depends on the year.
Yeah.
Depends on the fucking year.
Yeah. I mean, they have a much smaller slate, I think, compared to A24 at this point. But,
especially recently.
I mean, with freaking Parasite. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's like crazy. Okay, here's the first one.
Let's do it.
Now, whatever you saw or did is no longer my concern, but let's be clear, it won't end well. I was like, this is the tagline for the movie?
I have no fucking clue. You're literally not even. Wait, give me an actor in it. If you know.
Anton Yelchin.
Green Room?
Yep. Does that make... I haven't seen Green Room. Does that make sense?
Vaguely. Like in the vaguest of ways. I actually just rewatched that. That's funny. In the vaguest of ways, it makes sense. I don't.
I thought that was very strange.
Maybe that's a line. Maybe he says that.
Maybe.
I don't know, whatever.
Every family tree hides a secret.
Hereditary?
Yes.
Yeah. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
It's a good tagline.
It's a tagline-ass tagline.
Oh, yeah. But that's the whole... They're a marketing tool.
Yeah.
Like...
This one is going to be harder.
Oh, damn.
Evil takes many forms. It's so general. Is it
one of the newer Halloween movies?
No.
Oh, it's Blumhouse.
Yeah.
I have no clue. Give me an actor again if you.
Because like I feel like if I give away the one, it will give it away completely. What's her freaking name? Fucking shit. What's her name?
I don't know.
Give me a second. I can't remember her freaking name. Queen's Gambit. What's her name?
Anya Taylor-Joy. Oh, the witch.
Yeah, the witch.
Okay.
So there's another one that was like it's like a New England fairy tale or folk tale or something. I was like, that's too
giving it away. Yeah.
Let the festivities begin.
Midsummer.
Yep. If you talk to them, they will answer.
Talk to me.
Yeah.
Talk to me. Which is, I actually just started listening to an interview with one of the directors of that.
Yeah.
The Rocka Rocka guys.
Shit. Yeah. Dying to show you a good time.
I don't know, what is that one? Or actor.
Freaking Kid Cudi's in it.
Oh, X. All of Kid Cudi is in that movie.
All of Kid Cudi's in that one. Yep, that's X. From his darkest fears comes the greatest adventure. It's the cheesiest. This one might be blurring the line of like a horror movie, but
give me an actor.
I mean, Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh, Beau is Afraid.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm just giving it to you.
Hey, Beau is Afraid is a comedy. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, it was described. It was on Wikipedia as I was doing this research. It was described as a dark tragicomedy horror.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
That's such a funny.
That's a fucking wild movie.
Not all miracles are divine.
Is this Nope?
No.
Oh shit. Oh, what is it called?
Who's in it?
I honestly don't remember the actor's name. Fuck, what is it called? Did you see the poster of it?
Yeah.
The poster of a woman in a white dress?
No.
Then I don't know it. What is it?
Think about it.
What's the actor?
What's the divine miracle?
Fucking, I don't know.
You don't know what the divine miracle is?
No, I put all that shit out.
Well, see if I just say that. It's Immaculate. It's the movie Immaculate.
Oh, okay.
And then this is the last one. One goddamn fucked up horror picture.
Oh, is that Pearl?
No.
Is it also X?
It's also X.
Okay, because I was like, that's the line from X, but I didn't think it would have 2 taglines. That's the better tagline.
Yep, that is the better tagline. But I was like, I thought,
hey, dying to show you a good time is also
dying to show you is a very good time.
Also very fun.
It's a very good one for that movie. So yeah, that's the game.
Yeah.
You did pretty well.
I did okay. I needed some actors, but I did okay.
And then I feel like the actors were just like, okay, here it is.
Yeah,
like you just know it this way.
You just give me some background actor that's been in 4 other things.
I thought about doing that, but then I couldn't remember any of their names.
Yeah, there you go.
I was like, Kid Cudi.
Immaculate. There was a good movie in there somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I heard about that.
It got. I know it got kind of cut down and stuff in a way that doesn't really make sense to me. But it's she's very good in it. She's good in it. Anyway,
didn't she like produce it or something like that? Yeah.
Hell yeah. Recommendations.
Mine will be completely off theme.
So will mine. Entirely.
Well, actually, I'll do one on theme. Silence of the Lambs. Go watch that. The movie fucking shreds.
7. Watch 7.
Movie also fucking shreds. Mine is it's something I've recommended before, but they just released a new episode, which will probably be the final episode of Psych Odyssey, the documentary series about the making of Psychonauts 2, which, as I said last time, and I will always say into the future, if you ever want to make a creative thing at a large scale with a lot of people involved, I feel like Psych Odyssey should be like mandatory reading. Like that series is phenomenal, fascinating. Like the fact that Double Fine not only like let this happen but produced it, I think is fascinating because like they don't look great a lot of the time. Like there are a few moments in there that it's like, man, you look bad. Like where it's like you can understand where everyone is coming from, but at the same time, it almost sounds like you're advocating for them to do things that are actively hurting them. But it's like he's not. It's very complicated, very complex, and I really love and appreciate how open and honest it is. The very last episode is more than a year later, but a year since essentially the documentary was released. Essentially them saying like, oh yeah, this is our experience watching the documentary series. Yeah. And like what the effect that the documentary series has then had on the future of them making games. Fascinating. Because like they were like, yeah, we watched this and we were like, we can't let that happen ever again. And so they like have put in place like like company guidelines and all this kind of stuff. Like it's really, really, really cool. And part 2 of the recommendation is A, go watch all of it, and B, if you're a big fucking nerd like we are, they are actually doing a limited run Blu-ray box set that you can go buy right now. If you look it up if you look up the Psych Odyssey on YouTube, they have links in the descriptions and stuff. It's for a limited time, like I think August 26th or something like that is the last day that the pre-orders are open, and they won't be delivered until like December because like this is all pre-order stuff. But go support it because it's like so cool. Like I know when I get paid, I'm gonna be probably buying it because I can't help myself. It's just so cool. And like I said, like if you want to do a creative thing at scale with a large budget and a lot of people, you should have to watch Psych Odyssey because it is a fascinating view into the where creativity meets commerce, in a really fascinating way. Yep. So that's my recommendation.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
Look, I kind of described it to you this way. I don't think it's a good movie. But damn it, I wouldn't really change much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I grew up on Hugh I grew up loving superheroes. Kind of fell out and then discovered the X-Men movies.
Yeah.
Fell back in love with them. Logan is like kind of in a lot of ways just one of my favorite movies, I think.
Yeah.
Like I adore Logan.
As well you should.
And I really, really like the Deadpool movies. I think they're fun. I think people give them kind of a hard time because they're like crass and whatever humor, but it's like that's kind of been the character since his inception. So like what are you expecting exactly? Yeah.
They have a surprising amount of heart.
That's what and that's my point is like for all the gobbledygook plot bullshit in Deadpool and Wolverine, man, it made me pretty emotional at times. Yeah. Like I really enjoyed it. It showed me things I've always wanted to see Wolverine do, which is super fun. Showed him in the suit, which is awesome. I walked out thinking like, well, That was dumb.
Yeah.
But I really liked it. Like, so I don't know. I go see it. It's mean, blowing up the world right now. Everyone's seen it.
Fuck, the world's blowing up right now. It's on fire.
Yeah, that's part of the plot of the movie. Not really. Superheroes shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, study up on your like Fox era Marvel and go in and just have a good fucking time.
And it's got Mr. Darcy in it.
It does. What?
The actor who plays Mr. Darcy from
Tom from Succession. Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but
he's pretty good in it too.
Yeah. He's a snack.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so Deadpool and Wolverine.
Go watch Pride and Prejudice.
Go watch Pride and Prejudice. I still have never seen it. I want to watch it.
It's so good. That'll be a podcast episode.
I'm super down. I want to see it really bad.
It's so good.
Anyway, so that's Longlegs, and that's Psych Odyssey, and that's Deadpool and Wolverine, and Pride and Prejudice also,
and Silence of the Lambs,
and Silence of the Lambs, and Seven,
and Paw Patrol.
It follows, and Paw Patrol, the superhero movie, if that's a thing. I don't know, the super movie.
It had a movie, but I can't remember what it was called.
They had two movies. There's one that is a superhero themed one. Anyway, that's not important. My nephews are very into Paw Patrol.
Paw Patrol meets Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah. That's my pitch.
Police pup got brutally murdered, and they have to find the killer.
Yeah. Police pup. That's so funny. Anyway, so you should go watch all these things, or don't. I don't know. Live your life.